Easy. We got that done, and now we're getting FlyQuest and 100 Thieves going. Let's see how the draft shakes out.
I'm putting that in my contract next year.
You need. I demand an equal number of butts to seats in the audience. The man is a shrewd negotiator.
Honestly, we live off that crowd audio, and if we don't get enough butts, then we're going to have to fill them with bots.
Oh, no.
I've decided a robot audience noise coming to an LCS near you. Let's get into the picks and bans, though. The extra Enchanter is still available. Lulu is definitely available here. Karma's definitely been the higher prioritized and the one that 100 Thieves went back to. But they do have the option if you want to do the Lulu plays. It looks like FlyQuest will take that for themselves. Thank you very much, Mr. Flowers.
Not locked in yet. Not locked in yet. Still hovering. We just want to go ahead and read off the bans here while we have time. Akali, Karma, Varus, Viego, Gwen, and Set all banned away, and that Lulu will be locked in here for FlyQuest.
There's an Ornn inside joke that among the top laners here going back and forth. Meanwhile, insta-locks here. Since out for 100 Thieves, even without an Enchanter mid, is interesting, but you see the immediate pairing there with Senna. One of the biggest things for me with Senna is always, yes, she does allow you to have a Fed support. She does allow you to scale infinitely into the late game with extra range and provide good damage and a global ultimate, but she also provides so much healing. One of the biggest things that people overlook is the post-game stats for healing that Senna does. This further empowers your front line like Xin Zhao, so I do like that extra little inkling. Any sort of extra power you can give to champions like Xin that are on the front line but also building decent amount of damage goes a long way. There's your cog Lulu, though, the classic.
Oh yes, the traditional make sure you protect the VIP type of composition, and along with that they'll have that Lee Sin. So we know where Lulu and Cog are going, but then the power of Lee Sin, three-way potential flex, could go any of those remaining three roles. Gonna keep 100 Thieves guessing. They're hovering over Graves with Xin Zhao already locked in. This one's probably not
another
real.
meme, my friend. Another meme. Another champ select. Another meme.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
and it's the Ziggs. The bomb boy is locked in here. Honestly, the damage potential is what I want to focus on.
Okay.
Because, yes, the wave clear and, you know, the cross-map ultimate, trying to make hover plays where you don't really have to leave your lane, but you can add big CC or you can add big damage to CC of your other lanes if they try and make early game skirmish plays. Really, the burst damage is what should not be underrated. And one of my old friends here, Shifter, always used to build some Lich Banes on some of the Ziggs plays.
Danny's got the big brain.
Adding to the passive, short, you know, the short views. Like, I want to see that stuff come up because Ziggs can for some people be a little bit of a snooze fest as far as just microwaving all the minions and blowing up the towers. But if you add the gameplay of a Lich Bane on that sucker, then I'm really on board for those big autos. We'll see if Abbedagge has that sort of a take on it this time around, fixes up with the builds. Here's some of the follow-up on the frontline bans, though. Because of the Lulu, again, champions like Xin, like Olaf, have extra priority as far as that early game priority. Meanwhile, yes, late game, you can always default to Lulu speeding up the Kog'Maw and doing kind of the Juggernaut frontline Kog'Maw type of play. That's very annoying during your W, but the other options are always very nice to have, too, as far as melee carries and empowering them and being able to use the Lulu ultimate offensively.
And I know a lot of people hate getting knocked up twice by Wukong's ultimate, but Wukong with Lulu is getting knocked up thrice when Wukong does his ultimate because of Lulu's ultimate. So they're banning that one away now, too.
Damn, what's worse than 2 knockups? 3
knockups! And the bans from FlyQuest are the Jace and the Orianna with the Nocturne locked in for 100 Thieves and a Sejuani hover from FlyQuest. Is this another meme or is this reality?
Honestly, we're not going to do hovers anymore because I've played too much.
Memes.
But I actually feel like Sejuani with enough melee champions is overlooked potential. This champion is not generically good like it used to be days of old of Sejuani memes for LCS junglers. Those are long gone. You know, thank you very much. But the changes to Warmogs mean that you no longer have to build any other health items. You used to, as a jungler at least, with the lower level value, have to build your Chem Tank or Sunfire or whatever tank item and then build your Warmogs and an extra health Crystal because the gold income to level power curve did not quite work out smoothly. Now Warmogs, you can immediately slap it on there. They reduce the requirement for the passive, and that is always a very good item for Sejuani because she has such good health scalings and allows you to just disengage and have your front line just fully regenerate up. So I do like the new build path with it. Plus, when your solo laners are both melee in the current meta, the damage potential in your duels is so good for a tank. You are right up there with some of the other duelists that have to very heavily invest in that. And if you pair this with Palafox's famous Sylas and Licorice here on Lee Sin, they can definitely, burst down something like a Xin or like a Nocturne.
Right, but the thing that I'm looking at here now, it's not Abbedagge on Ziggs. We're not going to see how he plays Ziggs. That ain't happening. Instead, Abbedagge on the Rise, the Ziggs will be playing more of a support role there in the bottom lane, still bringing some of the turret destruction capabilities and whatnot, but not quite having that whole Lich Bane pop the turret in one shot type.
Yeah, and yes, it is technically in support role, but with the Senna and still getting bottom lane farm,
right, yeah.
Bottom lane Ziggs has been one of the very successful roles you can play it in. It's not just mid. The solo queue win rates, even where sometimes off, meta lanes and stuff for champions and bottom laners for solo queue less reliable and having good champion pools. Sometimes the win rates can really suffer there, but bottom lane Ziggs, very effective. And being paired with the Senna does get the extra income, extra CS, and has a huge damage output from that bottom lane. So if you get to, land even a couple of these bombs and Senna Qs, then you really get to get a lot of that damage on towers you're talking about, even from the bottom lane, and start to get those turret plates, really funding a lot of the early game there for 100 Thieves. Huhi as well.
This,
as you know,
crazy. Used
to be a mid laner, so no surprise here as far as playing mages for him from the bottom lane.
Also with the teleport.
Some history.
Huhi with the teleport means there is less direct combat power in that 2v2. If they try to take on Johnson and Dreams directly in an even fight, you can see although all 10 players came to these brushes around the bottom lane, nobody really wanted to test their mettle and see if they could step forward into one of those further forward brushes. The other thing I'm looking at this game, Palafox has some very powerful ultimates to steal. Xin Zhao ultimate will give him a ton of survivability in the middle of a team fight. Someday, if he wants to steal that ultimate away from him, the engage power as well as just being able to turn out the lights has so much utility. Or just steal Ziggs' ultimate and blow the whole team fight up with a bomb. Lots of options.
That one's definitely fun as well. And you can, even though it's not as flashy, stealing Rise ultimate for big brain, minion moving plays, macro plays over to Baron, those things can really get your YouTube highlight, even though it's not it's not focused on champion kills and pentas and stuff like that. Nice little health trade here though by Palafox, waiting in the brush and jumping right over onto Abbedagge. Does have, he placed the ward over by the ramp by Raptors just for that. So you like to see any small optimizations from these types of players. And the famed duel of Palafaker versus Faker Dage starts off with first punch for Palafaker.
Palafaker rolls off the tongue a little bit easier because the syllable normally begins with the F to begin with. That's the problem for Abbedagge is a different letter in there. There's no F in that name. So Palafox and Abbedagge, we'll keep an eye on them here. We know both of these champions can easily take over a game of League of Legends if they get themselves a lead, can play team fights, side lanes, all sorts of stuff.
I will say, Faker Dage, though, is looking a little bit more like the original with the Rise, one of the most iconic Faker champions, as he's been in so many cinematics as the champion as well. If we got some early jungle attention, though.
Oh, yeah. Rise is a very vulnerable champion early on here.
Good hover.
If the gank comes through, there it is. And there's your damage. Jose Diodo ready to follow, but he does not find the second part of the W. And that means that Abbedagge will get away to the safety of Closer. Wind becomes Lightning, not going to hit the second part of that W now either. Closer's the one who's in some trouble. He's going to be stunned up. Palafox is coming back in, but he doesn't get the Kingslayer in time. It's the first blood over to 100 Thieves. Make it a 2-for-1 special buy one, get one free.
Oh my goodness, and it looks like Faker Dage is the true Faker in the LCS nowadays. Honestly though, the junglers there make such a big difference. If the angle on the W a little bit more parallel there for Jose, and that hits, that is a kill. Because the W is the important part of the second swing of the W is the important part of the Sejuani W. That's the part that does the big damage. That adds the slow so you can catch up and finish him before Xin is able to get there. But because of that critical dodge by Faker Dage, it buys enough time for Closer to get there, and they have the burst damage, killing Palafox before the Kingslayer connects. As you said, if it doesn't quite connect there and they have the burst damage, you don't get your burst healing, doesn't survive.
Speaking of some healing, Palafox jumps in for some there against Abbedagge, but the Rise continues to maintain control over this matchup. Yeah, both Xin Zhao and Sejuani have that two-part W, where the first part of it, you whoop them close range, and then the second part, you smack from further away. It's not about the whoop, it's about the smack.
True, true. Those are words that live by. Honestly, put that on a t-shirt.
I'd buy it. Let's take another look at how the fight went, because it went on for a while.
Okay, so W number 1 here. It's so freaking close. He flashes to try and get it, but because of the angle, doesn't quite get it. Palafox also dodges the critical W from Closer, so they think they can re-engage off of the stun. Oh, but actually, even with the connecting, enough burst damage there, really well executed by 100 Thieves. They turn and they focus. And when you lose the mid 2v2 like this, oh my goodness, your comms are kind of quiet after that.
Yeah.
The morale for the team goes in the dumpster because we even did it. We were talking so much in Champ Select, hyping up the duels of the Sejuani plus the melee solo laners, and jumping out for the early attempt, I think, is a good attempt. But man, that one Teemo off. These
the official unit of measure.
Exactly. These tiny little spacing differences between actually getting the kill and getting doubled yourself just completely changed the story for the early game.
And especially for a champion like Xin Zhao that loves to get these early plays and loves to develop these early leads, for having one of those kills go over to Closer, man, he's feeling great about the current state of the game.
Round two.
This is going to turn real dicey. You got Someday lower HP, Closer jumping in, he's ready to go. They're going to switch the focus over onto him, but now the fight is looking real bad for the Thieves. They will lose one and they're about to lose another. Flash into follow-up now, and Someday's getting away. The stun comes out, and there's the whoop. They don't even need the smack.
These Sejuani duels, Flowers, I'm telling you can't underestimate Sejuani with a melee solo laner. Those stuns stack up so quickly, and yet I think if Someday just kept walking in a straight line, Jose was not quite in range for the E stun on Sejuani, and that's why he was waiting so long to throw it. The E range activation is deceptively short on this champion.
Yeah.
So while you can proc it and get it prepped on a lot of champions very quickly with a bunch of other melee champions on your team, you do have to chase them down and get in range to actually be able to activate it. So I would love a pro view from one of the FlyQuest members, point of view here, from Jose's point of view, to see. I'm pretty sure that was just outside of range, and the attempt at the dodge actually cost him his life. So there's the first kill. That one's going to go down anyways off of the re-engage, but here, that range is so close. He's trying to dodge the W, but you have enough time as well with the first swing coming out first to continue to walk straight there, and in the end, the kill given over. But 100 Thieves on the reset. Remember, the first duel in the mid lane went 2 kills in their favor, and so they've been riding that power spike from their early attempt a lot easier. They still retain this big gold lead, plus capitalize on it with Drake number 1.
Right, the 2v2s have gone even now over the course of these couple of plays, but it is 100 Thieves with massive farm advantages in the jungle and mid lane roles that have them with this gold lead, and that have given them the opportunity now to further that lead with the first Drake 7 minutes into the game. Not super early, but still not one of those mega late ones that feels like it takes forever for the soul to come online, even if you're 4 stacking. So Licorice backing up here after clearing away the wave. Now that he has Closer, I should say, Someday is feeling comfortable enough to farm up underneath the turret.
Meanwhile, bottom side, that is Ziggs and Senna, baby. You'd think, in the aftermath, when people look at the champion rosters in the post game, they're like, whoa, the Ziggs Senna bottom lane. That's got to be the story from the beginning.
We don't have time for them. We got a fight breaking out. It's a 3v3, and now Palafox is stuck on the wrong side of the wall. He flashes out trying to stay alive with the Realm Warp coming over. The fight still carrying through. The damage gets done, and Closer is gone. Licorice tries to find his way out.
Can he break
fear
it?
tether stays attached. The fear comes through, and the kill comes down. Palafox continuing to stay alive, trying to run away now. Abadaga's got some damage, but the Kingslayer's coming through. Palafox back on the run, needs the cooldowns, dashes away, and somehow stays alive. It's a 2-for-1 for 100 Thieves.
Oh, these are getting exciting, especially with the paranoia going to both ways there. Early one from Someday, and they almost chase him down, but Palafox stealing one for the for the answer. He really wants to stick around for this cannon wave. Can Abadaga thread a Q here and punish him? Looks like he's just going to be forced to play very cautiously behind the wave.
Yep, just hanging out, but Licorice is here and he's ready to go. He does not have his ulti, so Abadaga can just walk this one off.
Yeah, the extra speed on the boost right there, being able to gain distance. No threat of coming in on a ward hop and actually landing that Q, so just gets right back out. Here's another look at how it started out, though. Okay, so Q used early on. So Lee Sin, no Q when it starts. Really good initiation there. Blast Cone disengages for them, so they get to buy a lot of time. The second paranoia here, though, Palafox actually buys a lot himself, and they can just burst down Closer with a nice kick there, getting the escape. The big turn on to Jose and allowing the kill here for Abadaga, actually flashing away from that Q2, does mean the turnaround there for 100 Thieves, getting that gold back. And one of the critical things is that this Ryze is getting super fed super quickly. Yeah. Not only did he ride off of the early 2v2 win in mid lane and blow that open into a huge CS lead, but also picking up the kill there on the other side. He's now got 2 for his name, plus the 2 assists. Richest man in the game.
And Jose Dioto back up here in the top lane, seeing if maybe there's a play to be made. Sejuani's very, very powerful at diving just because she's such a powerful meatball. And here we go with the damage coming down and the burst going out. Someday's still alive. They finally get the kill. TP's showing up from both sides. Palafox ready to help the team. They get another dive now. Abadaga's the target. They're properly tanking up the aggro. They're getting everybody away, and Licorice is just
another
fine.
challenger.
Closer's ready to go. He's going to look for the kill onto somebody that's vulnerable, but he's coming in. The wind becomes lightning, but he can't break the thunder. It's Jose Dioto getting the kill. Closer, what the hell?
Closer done lost his mind. Flowers. Ew, one by one, the Thieves go marching in.
Hurrah.
Hurrah. And FlyQuest are singing their praises there. They pull off the dive on Someday, burst him down before the teleport completes, and so, yeah, there's not much you can say about that one. And in the aftermath, Abadaga tried his best. He wanted to be able to get there to support his laner, but the third one, marching in here for Closer, that one, at best,
is a 1-for-1.
Is a 1-for-1. And the opponent kills are going to be assisted, so that's even more gold. Bottom side, we might have some ward clears here as they relieve pressure. But, yeah, the decision-making there honestly can just be a move of solidarity, maybe. Going down with the ship.
Don't go down with the ship. Get on the lifeboat.
Yeah, it's, economic term, the sunk cost fallacy. You've already invested so much and lost so much with a teleport and both your solo laners' lives, trying to get something back out. But it's definitely not worth it here. So goes on in with the challenging smite, tries to get it, but Lee Sin, very good W there from Licorice, and the crab emote goes up.
The crab emote is the perfect emote for that situation. Closer now having the assistance from his bottom lane. And you were talking about this before the red buff fight. FBI and Huhi have massive bot side control. That first turret is already down here in bottom lane, and 100 Thieves can use that presence and that pressure and that priority to secure the second Drake.
Every time we start trying to talk about, oh yeah, send a Ziggs lane, baby, so much damage, pushing it on that turret, blow it up with the Satchel charge, there's just fight after fight after fight on the top side of the map, always initiated by FlyQuest. This battle Sejuani lock-in with the intent of fighting around their double melee solo laners, and have had both sides of the coin, but more recently, a lot more success. It also turns into first Rift Herald for them, so they can easily get huge value out of this. They honestly don't even have to use it to finish off that top turret and could focus more on mid. You see they already rotated over Johnson and Dreams. Is going to be a strong move here on the reset from 100 Thieves, though, to try and clear out an answer.
It is a very late first Rift Herald, though, which means they only have about 45 seconds if they want to get the guaranteed plate money on it. So if they're looking to max out on that, get that guaranteed value, it needs to be dropped mid very, very soon. Right now, 100 Thieves has a lot of bodies defending the Tier 1 turret here in the top lane because it's been pressured so low, it's down to about one plate without a Rift Herald.
Yeah.
Josedeoto's still just chilling.
Just can't get it in.
30 seconds.
Because Abbedagge in wave here, so the minion wave as well that will stop the Rift Herald. If Sejuani makes a dangerous play, he could walk up to the turret now, cast it in range, 20 seconds. They let him do it.
They let him do it.
That's getting up.
Now he gets the money.
Yeah, you can't kill it in time, so they just let him do it. I thought that Nocturne and Ryze were going to block him from doing it, but that feels so good. 6 seconds is the spare for Shelly there. Jose's feeling good.
There it is, taking out the plates right before they fall, as 100 Thieves have put their bottom laners up here in the top side, and you'll see FlyQuest respond the same. Fly looking for a play here in the bottom lane. Licorice and Josedeoto here in that 2v2. Going back again to the power of Sejuani with these melee solo laners. Palafox will bring in the wave. They have a 3v2, but Abbedagge is very close to turning into a 3v3 with a Whelmwarp.
That is a trap set by 100 Thieves. Please dive us.
Oh no, there's only 2 of us and 3 of you.
Oh, we're so weak over here. Daddy Dogge, please come save us.
I like Faker Dogge better.
Okay.
No, we ain't getting into the world of ooh-boos and IILs. All right, Licorice is going top lane. Let's see if there's a play to be made up here. FBI and Huhi are trying to take shelter underneath this turret, but it is still very, very close to dead.
Yeah, and very, very cautious play up there, as should be. You see them slowly working in, clearing out these control wards. I like the kind of reorientation of the map for FlyQuest, sending Duo up on top side, sending Jose over here as well to make the strong push through here. They even just run right past Red for the dive.
Oh, nice aim there on the ulti as he tries to hop away with a satchel charge. FlyQuest picking up the first kill here for free. That is Huhi's first death of the game. They're going to go after Someday here next. Wild Growth immediately onto Josedeoto, making sure he's able to tank up the turret aggro. Holding that aggro as long as possible, and he finally has to walk away. The CC is enough for 100 Thieves to get one back, but it's still a 2-for-1 play in FlyQuest's favor.
Yeah, nice collection of the extra gold there. Honestly, the turret remaining standing with a tiny bit of health here does mean that they're not going to be able to have that powerful reset they're looking for. And 100 Thieves, since Huhi's got teleport, even though it is technically support role Ziggs, right back out the mid lane, guess what? You never seen a support wipe out a minion wave quite like this one, Flowers.
And the thing that stood out the most to me about that gold graph on the left side of your screen, Palafox is the second poorest player in the game. He is very, very far behind the curve of things. You're not happy to see that one. Yes, he has only about 100 less gold than the enemy Senna.
McDonald's mid laner.
Yeah, exactly. This is not the look that FlyQuest wants for this champion, who needs to be able to dive into everybody and stand his own ground and be able to drain tank a little bit. So Palafox has some catching up to do. 45 seconds to go, Kobe, and we have our third Drake of the game spawning. Ocean Soul is on the menu.
Yes, sir. All right, so first thing there, even Ziggs unable to clear out that minion wave, and really good focus by FlyQuest jumping in on him for the first kill. Then they want to repeat here with 5 members, so they do burst him down. However, it's the extra last attack from Closer. With his ultimate on Xin, he gets to still auto attack, gets the last hit of the Talon Strike there for the knockup, keeps Licorice inside for at least some gold back for themselves, and they defend the tower, keep that one standing. So 2 dragons, 100 Thieves, still many capabilities here as far as setting up on this one. They've got a teleport for Abbedagge from top side. He would have to channel it very quickly if they actually want to make the move, though, and I think they've just made the call. We'll let him have it, you know. They throw out a possible Ziggs bomb, maybe get a miracle still. I think early on in the game that is ridiculously low chance, but especially from bottom side. But you know, later on into the game that becomes a very real factor.
Absolutely. They toss it out. It doesn't return anything, but hey, they already had the first 2 Drakes, so it's not like 100 Thieves is threatening, or it's not like 100 Thieves is now threatened by their opponents having their own soul point. Abbedagge should be able to take down this Tier 1 turret up here in the top line. You can see Palafox. He's just sitting back near the Tier 2. He knows he can't try to fight this guy straight up. He's 50 CS behind. His opponent is 2-1-3, so he's got to play safe and recover his way back into this game.
All right, meanwhile, bottom side, Ssumday has not had a very fun time this game. Repeated Sejuani visits, constantly trying to dive him. They tried early in mid lane. They got noped out of that one real quick with the first 2 double kills, so FlyQuest then turned their sights towards the other solo laner, and Ssumday had to take a lot of that focus for 100 Thieves up on that side of the map, but he's still going to be Nocturne. Your ultimate provides so much value for these team fights. And again, because the positioning is actually really important in being able to get off these Sejuani stuns, it's still going to do the job for 100 Thieves. They've got so much, backline scaling damage available to them with the Ryze and the Ziggs. A lot of this AoE that they can throw out, if you cover it with Paranoia, makes it much easier for the setup.
Okay, it's Closer and FBI coming after Josediodo, who dashes over the wall to stay safe. And now it's 100 Thieves with control over the topside river, clearing out both of these control wards placed down by FlyQuest. Licorice is on the other side of the map. He'll take down the Tier 1 turret here in the bottom lane. Important for FlyQuest. They are behind in turrets 1-3, so that'll bring that a little bit closer, give them a bit more gold in the pocket here. 100 Thieves is ahead in gold right now. Closer still has control over the topside river, still has aggro on the Herald itself. After he gets rid of that last FlyQuest ward, he may be able to further invest in this, but it looks like he thinks it's too much of a risk and just backs away. The Riftchild is going to despawn very, very soon. We're at 19 minutes and 40 seconds. Josediodo dashes over the wall, but a flash out from Huhi keeps him safe as FlyQuest will not find a play.
That's always a really good cooldown exchange to go for, though, especially since Josediodo knows he's got Lulu there, so he can dash in, force the cooldown trade and throwing out his ult, and even if he gets rooted up, even if he takes a big chunk of damage, he knows Lulu with the Guardian shield is not going to be significant enough to force them out of any plays on the map, and now having no flash on the Ziggs becomes a very, very viable target for Licorice, because while Ziggs does have tiny bits of self-peel with the satchel charge, it's not instant. And definitely can be preyed upon.
Okay, still 2 minutes to go until that next Drake is alive. And while Baron has spawned, 20 minutes and 20 seconds into the game isn't normally when teams will go after Baron unless you have a very, very specific setup, which I don't believe either of our teams is in a position to be doing that here right now. Checking on the items for Johnson, just because every Kog'Maw comp is always so much about Kog'Maw. He's got the Immortal Shield Bow here. You can see the items in the inventory leading towards what I believe is the Wit's End next, so give him a little bit of extra magic resistance against the power of that Ryze and that Ziggs that you were talking about, while also giving him more on-hit damage to be that big cannon in the team fight.
And it is very heavily indexed towards defenses here for Johnson, but it's because there are so many forms of backline damage. It's not just dive. Yes, there's dive, there's Nocturne and Xin, but there's also, as we say, so much AP with Ryze being able to shred through AoE and Ziggs always being able to have access there too. So he knows as Kog'Maw, he's going to have a difficult time this game. It's actually not a very ideal, like Juggernaut style positioning game because there are so many options with this 100 Thieves comp. It's actually very flexible. So Johnson trying to account for a lot of these possibilities here, and hopefully they can set up a more structured team fight with the Sejuani in front. Now it's level 11, and Josediodo has gone with an interesting choice there with the Abyssal Mass for bigger damage for all of his teammates after he stuns people, setting them up for this damage amplification while giving him some of the magic resist. Definitely one of the more offensive looks here. I quite like it. Maybe he goes into Warmogs next. I think it is such a very good item on Sejuani, and if you are facing stuff like Ziggs, that's constant, bombs being thrown out and
heavy poke.
Exactly. You can block them and then back up and heal with your Warmogs for your team for some of the late game objectives and these more drawn out setups.
100 Thieves, speaking of setups, they're ready to go in this brush here. If somebody from FlyQuest steps just a little bit too far forward, and there he is! They're going after the Dogmaw. They've got him getting away for now, but the fear comes out, the damage goes through. Say goodnight to Dreams, and Johnson will join him. 100 Thieves get 2 for nothing there. The patience pays off. They can take the Drake, the turrets, whatever the hell they want.
Yep, right out of that set of mist comes the Xin. Closer dives right onto him, and that's the option. Oh my goodness, Licorice with the ward over the wall too, but it's just going to be FBI and 100 Thieves running down mid lane. Well, Licorice finishes up those Raptors. Easy retreat back over to this dragon, or is it? Big kick in the face is waiting.
Licorice is there. Ward hops away. Nope, they don't even have to go by him. They just realm war past him. And that is 2 kills, plus the turrets there, one of which is an inhibitor turret, and the Drake over to 100 Thieves. Massive sequence of plays from them.
Nice pickup there for 100 Thieves. The coordination really paying off. This is now Dragon Soul Point. Next one, huge in 450. Interesting force here by FlyQuest because FBI is in base, but their damage is not insanely high because, as you see, Johnson was walking from base, and he was just waddling over as Kog'Maw, so there's plenty of time for all of 100 Thieves to join and then try and fight them off this. And they're grouped up inside the pit. 4,000 health, though. They're forcing the issue.
All right, 100 Thieves is ready to go. FlyQuest wants to commit to the Baron. They're going all the way in for it, but it's stolen away, and Closer guarantees things are going 100 Thieves' way. 2 more kills back over to the mid laner. Abbedagge is just knocking him over, and the Red Bull Baron goes to the Thieves.
They make that heist look easy, Flowers. A big Ziggs bomb over the top. Closer charges right in. They steal the Baron, and guess what? They're not done.
Mid is already wide open. The inhibitor itself already about to be taking some damage. Closer jumps in after Palafox.
Oh.
Licorice and Jose Diodo were jumping in, looking to fight, but that is not a fight you want to be looking for, my friends. Abbedagge on a killing spree. 100% kill participation here on this rise.
Zhonya's second item for Huhi as well. Ziggs not scared at all, sitting right there, happy to take the initiation. Another kill, and 100 Thieves, I mean, the damage they can do here. Remember, Ziggs will just pop these towers soon as they get down to like 40% HP even.
It's
with
so
this,
much damage.
With the satchel charge, depending on the breakpoint here, with the Baron buff, they don't even have to, use it that quickly. Inhibitor number 2, and they're out.
And they can't switch over to inhibitor number 3 just yet. There is still the tier 2 turret there in the bottom lane. So this is 100 Thieves backing up fully as 5. Nobody can get caught. Nobody can get punished. They're back in the base now.
All right, let's take a look at the Honda performance replay on this Baron then. Big bomb, baby, coming in. It doesn't even hit. Closer jumps in and gets it with the Smite W just before the bomb damage even comes through. But you can see the idea, 100 Thieves throwing everything they have at it. So very good combination there from Closer. Didn't actually see, maybe sometimes you can also get really good distance by knocking your opponent far enough away, even though only like suppresses will stop them from actually doing smites. You can use displacements for a similar thing.
Can't cast it if you're not in range of the target.
Exactly. Regardless, still are able to get their reset off. A full minute left on this Baron.
Okay, Jose Diodo the target. With the rest of FlyQuest here, they will not continue chasing after him. Abbedagge is not grouped up with the rest of the team, but he is within Realm Warp range. That's a bit of a tongue twister. I had to say that one slow. 100 Thieves pushing in the last lane, remaining with turrets to be pushed. The tier 2 turret will be the target first. They still have 35 seconds left on the Baron.
Yes, sir. They're going to make every second count, Flowers, because that's going to be one more minion wave. They could push this inhibitor turret as well. No reason to stop. FlyQuest, they've got to make their stand, though.
Okay, they're not standing up for the turret. They're not standing up for the inhibitor. Oh my goodness, the whole base is just being bulldozed over. Somebody's going to build a shopping mall on top of this thing by the time they're done. 100 Thieves will just keep on pushing. They still got the Baron.
The 100 Thieves Cash App Mall coming to FlyQuest territory soon.
Oh my goodness, these Nexus turrets are under fire. Half HP left in the first one. 100 Thieves taking it slow and steady. Jose Diodo jumps in, but he's out of mana. By the time he engages, he flashes back out with the follow-ups coming in. They don't have the money, they don't have the damage, they don't have the health, they don't have a prayer. 100 Thieves take out the mid laner. They're not done yet. It's a double kill back over onto the Cog. He stays alive. He wants to get away from the dead body, but it will not work. Kog'Maw gets his revenge, but it is 3v4 in their own base. FlyQuest continue to try to hold the line, but they have lost their first Nexus turret. A TP is going to make things even worse. Josedeodo's about to die, but not before Licorice does beforehand, and FBI picks up the kill on the enemy jungler. The shutdown comes through on Abbedagge, but it is too little. It is too late, and it is 100 Thieves taking the win over FlyQuest with the last couple of hits.
100 Thieves. They got derailed by the CLG pain train previously, but right back on track for them. Nice victory here over FlyQuest. They go back to the Zen for closer. Strong performance there by him fighting some of these duels, you know, coming to protect Abbedagge in the mid lane for the first 2v2. But then, so much for the bottom lane. It is FBI and Huhi flexibility. So fun when you get to see some of these role swap players like Huhi bringing out some mages in the bottom lane in support role in combination with the Senna, where he still gets to farm, blows up turrets no matter what role you put him in. So well executed there by the Thieves. Also like some of the initiations they go for. Senna Shroud for the Xin to make it a little bit more surprising. Get in range for the W and find some of those picks. Just well executed.
And Koglulu never got off the ground. They were stuck underneath their turret the whole time, just getting their butts kicked. Nobody was going down there to interfere because the junglers were having these 2v2 scraps up around the solo lanes. And look, I'm not going to say that it was a perfect game from 100 Thieves. There were some questionable moments. That second 2v2 up there in the top side, Closer randomly jumping in just to make sure that his buddies didn't feel alone after they already died. There were some not great moments.
I remember
that. They were overshadowed by the great ones of Closer being able to jump in, steal away the Baron, the team then playing coordinated, falling back as 5. The pros outweigh the cons in this one, my friend.
That does ring a bell. Seem to remember a little bit of that.
Seem to recall
one by one going down there in the
information.
shop side.
Yeah. One by one, the team's still marching in. Hurrah, hurrah.
We've been there, you know. It's like
we've all done it. If you have League of Legends installed on your computer,
you see a low health member, like, you didn't die for no reason. I'll make it count. Okay,
you didn't die for no reason, but I sure as hell will. Let's go! And that's kind of what happens. But hey, when you steal the Baron, it's all worth. You steal the Baron, you're still going to end up getting more credit than you lost from making that play up there like that.
Honestly, yeah, that's that was a funny one. I like the all-in there, too. There was no hesitation as far as the Baron steal that you're referring to for 100 Thieves. Let him get it low. They charge in. They split the fight in a very nice way with the knockback, getting the steal on top of it as well as getting the kills and kind of putting that nail in the coffin.
And 100 Thieves wanted to get that one after, you know, what happened. The thing that they do not speak of that occurred yesterday. They wanted to get another win back on the board here today. They wanted it to be something they look good doing. And again, I think being able to shut down a Koglulu comp to the point where you go, wait, Kog'Maw was in that game? That's a good look.
It was a good look. Honestly, too, I think that overall this team this year for 100 Thieves, bringing in Reaper, bringing in Abbedagge, we heard from the interview as far as the MVP from him, how welcoming this team is. And you can see it in some of the 100 Thieves content, too, how fun of an atmosphere it feels like. So very quick to adapt and add these new parts and immediately find success with those new parts is definitely impressive.
Yep, and our player of the game here for this game is Huhi on the bot lane. Ziggs, you talked about it a lot. He used to be a mid laner. He's playing a mage down here in the bottom lane. They slam their opponents in the 2v2 with nonstop control, and then he's the one. He buys the Zhonya second. They can never punish him. It just seemed like there was no way out.
Yeah, it was a really fun thing to see that also is kind of unique to some of the players and their history. Yeah, other supports could play Ziggs. Hopefully a lot of them are playing autofill as it expands your brain and your view of the game, but definitely love to see it up on stage again.
And now we're going to toss things over to LeTigris and FBI on stage for a Verizon post-game interview.
Thank you so much, Captain Flowers. FBI, I always love having you after a game because you give me some real honest answers. What is your evaluation of this performance from 100 Thieves?
Honestly, I think the game was pretty messy. I think we got a pretty big lead early game with 2 kills in the mid jungle, and we just got picked a lot off in the side. So it wasn't really like the cleanest game, I would say, but yeah, a win's a win.
Well, and it's hard when you have things like Josedeodo spending a lot of time top, not leaving Sunday alone for a moment. How does that affect the way that you were able to play on the opposite side of the map?
Yeah, it gave us a lot of space bottom. Like, Sunday was absorbing all the jungle pressure, and the matchup bot is pretty favorable for us. So I think we could have played the lane a lot better, but we still managed to get that tower. So, yeah, I think we did okay.
Tell me more about how Senna and Ziggs work in that laning phase and matchup.
Well, I think Huhi's a really good Ziggs. He used to be a mid laner, and we just thought of some like niche counter picks to Kog Lulu because it's pretty in meta at the moment. And yeah, Huhi's like a pretty creative player, and he came up with the idea, and his Ziggs is good, so we just tried it in scrims, and it went pretty well.
It's always so great when you get to see these players that served other roles bringing that experience into the game itself. Yeah. You yourself have had a bit of a different ride for 100 Thieves because it was such a bot-focused play style in spring, and now there is all this versatility. How do you feel that your role has evolved?
I would say that my role compared to last split has not really changed that much. I would say I'm still kind of playing the same game, but I think our team is a lot better now, and we have a actual carry threat in every role. So it kind of opens up the draft and like just how we play the game a lot more. And yeah, it's been pretty fun.
And there are some pretty hype moments from that game closer, specifically really coming through clutch. What was that experience like for you?
Closer always wins the 50-50, so we were pretty confident.
It's always great to have that confidence from the rest of the players going into the game. I know that confidence is going to play a big role in your matchup against Team Liquid. Thoughts on that?
I think Team Liquid is a pretty good team. I think they are better with Alphari, so I'm hoping our top side will smash them, and I have a lot of confidence in us in the bottom too, so I hope it's going to be a good match.
Well, looking forward to watching it. FBI, thanks for stopping by.
Thank you.
As we kick ourselves to a break, let's check out the new tune from Chai and Party Favor. See you soon.